I'm doing my reading again, and what I'm doing in this series is reading through the entire standard works of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. This consists of the Bible, the Book of Mormon, the Doctrine and Covenants, and the Pearl of Great Price. I'm reading in a chronological order of events, not according to publication or volume, so I will be skipping around a little bit as I go. I am currently still in Exodus. I actually already read this portion. This is the first half of the 12th chapter of Exodus, but I accidentally deleted the video before I got it uploaded, so I am going to redo this. And here we go. Chapter 12. The Lord institutes the Passover and the Feast of Unleavened Bread. Lambs are slain without blemish. Israel saved by their blood. Firstborn of all Egyptians slain. Israel thrust out of Egypt after 430 years. No bones of paschal lamb shall be broken. And the Lord spake unto Moses and Aaron in the land of Egypt, saying, This month shall be unto you the beginning of months. It shall be the first month of the year to you. So they're reorganizing the calendar, and I believe the Jews still use this calendar. The first month is based on the month that the Passover is in. So, verse 3. Speak ye unto all the congregation of Israel, saying, In the 10th day of this month they shall take to them every man a lamb according to the house of their fathers, a lamb for an house. And if the household be too little for the lamb, let him and his neighbor next unto his house take it according to the number of the souls. Every man according to his eating shall make your account for the lamb. Your lamb shall be without blemish, a male the first year. Ye shall take it out from the sheep or from the goats, and ye shall keep it up until the 14th day of the same month. And the whole assembly of the congregation of Israel shall kill it in the evening. So, this is the beginning of the Passover feast. We got a lamb. It says of the first year. This means it's no more than a year old. It's within its first year of life. This is a young lamb. It is to be killed one per household, unless the house is a little too small. So it's just me and my wife. We're newlyweds. We can't eat a whole lamb by ourselves, so we join with our neighbor. He may have 2 or 3 kids, but all of us together, one lamb could feed for one night probably a dozen people. So we get 2 families that aren't too big. We join them together so that we are not wasting anything. That's the big thing, is that we don't want to waste them. We don't want to kill more lambs than we need to fulfill the requirement. You'll also note that it could be either a sheep or a goat. Either one would work. Anyways, last thing to note, again, that they were supposed to take it on the 10th day and keep it. In other words, they were supposed to take care of it until the 14th day, at which point they would kill it. So, here we go. Verse 7. And they shall take of the blood and strike it on the 2 side posts and on the upper doorpost of the houses wherein they shall eat it. And they shall eat the flesh in the night, roast with fire and unleavened bread, and with bitter herbs they shall eat it. Even eat not of it raw, nor sodden it all with water, but roast with fire, his head with his legs, and with the purtenance thereof. And ye shall let nothing of it remain until the morning. And that which remaineth of it until the morning ye shall burn with fire. Okay, a couple of things here. No boiling. That's what sodden with water is. You don't boil the meat. Roast it with fire. And you roast it whole. The head, legs, everything. And you eat everything that is edible. That is what the pertinence thereof is. This is talking about the edible organs, the liver, the heart, these things that you could still eat. Everything had to be eaten. Whatever was left, bones, skin, all that stuff, and any meat that the family couldn't eat, we burn it at the end. Now, also, we take the blood and we mark the doors. But now, verse 11. And thus shall ye eat it, with your loins girded, your shoes on your feet, and your staff in your hand, and ye shall eat it in haste. It is the Lord's Passover. For I will pass through the land of Egypt this night, and will smite all the firstborn in the land of Egypt, both man and beast. And against all the gods of Egypt I will execute judgment, and I am the Lord. And the blood shall be to you for a token upon the houses where ye are. And when I see the blood, I will pass over you, and the plague shall not be upon you to destroy you when I smite the land of Egypt. Now this is another very important part. First of all, no, they're supposed to have their shoes on, staff in hand, loins girded, which is, they wore the long tunics, and to gird the loins meant to pull the tunic up and tuck it into your belt or girdle, allowing your legs to move more freely. So they're supposed to be eating it ready to leave. Because God says, look, when it comes time, you got to get out. You're not going to have time to pack stuff up. You got to be ready. But the other important thing there, in the previous plagues, we had at the first, everybody was affected. But then God started making a difference, as he said, a difference between Israel and Egypt. And he focused the plagues on Egypt, and Israel was spared completely, never touched. Now, with this final plague, it is back. Everybody is going to be touched. But you can save yourself by marking the doors. This is God saying, you have to do your part. Show that you have faith in God by marking the doors. That proves your faith and God, and we will leave you alone. You will not suffer in this plague. But you have to prove your faith. Verse 14. And this day shall be unto you for a memorial, and ye shall keep it, a feast to the Lord throughout your generations. Ye shall keep it a feast by an ordinance forever. 7 days shall ye eat unleavened bread, even the first day ye shall put away leaven out of your houses. For whosoever eateth leavened bread from the first day until the 7th day, that soul shall be cut off from Israel. And in the first day there shall be an holy convocation, and in the 7th day there shall be a holy convocation to you. No manner of work shall be done in them, save that which every man must eat. That only may be done of you. And ye shall observe the feast of unleavened bread, for in this selfsame day have I brought your armies out of the land of Egypt. Therefore shall ye observe this day in your generations by an ordinance forever. So this becomes a yearly feast. God is saying you're going to observe this feast every year. You'll also know it wasn't just that they couldn't have leavened bread. They were to not have any leaven in the house. They didn't want to, don't even be tempted to use it. Get rid of it all. During the Feast of Passover, no leaven in the house. There's also, I'll come back to this in just a minute. So let's see. Verse 18. In the first month, on the 14th day of the month at even, ye shall eat unleavened bread until the 21st day of the month at even. 7 days shall there be no leaven found in your houses. For whosoever eateth that which is leavened, even that soul shall be cut off from the congregation of Israel. Whether he be a stranger or born in the land, ye shall eat nothing leavened. In all your habitations shall ye eat unleavened bread. Okay, 14th to the 21st. That's 8 days. You'll note, though, the 14th and the 21st, they're both the 7th day of the week. They are the Sabbath. It starts on the Sabbath, it ends on the Sabbath. The holy convocations are to be held on these 2 days, and it says, no manner of work shall be done in them, save that which every man must eat. So in other words, we don't work on the Sabbath, except that which is necessary to sustain ourselves. We can cook. You can clean up a mess that is made. If your kid throws his food on the floor, you can clean that up. You can do the basic necessities of existence, but nothing more. You don't go out into the field and work on your crops. You don't go to the office. You stay home and you do only that which is absolutely necessary. Okay, verse 21. Then Moses called for all the elders of Israel and said unto them, Draw out and take you a lamb according to your families, and kill the Passover. And ye shall take a bunch of hyssop, and dip it in the blood that is in the basin, and strike the lintel and the 2 side posts with the blood that is in the basin. And none of you shall go out at the door of his house until the morning. For the Lord will pass through to smite the Egyptians, and when he seeth the blood upon the lintel and on the 2 side posts, the Lord will pass over the door, and will not suffer the destroyer to come in unto your houses to smite you. And ye shall observe this thing for an ordinance to thee and to thy sons forever. And it shall come to pass, when ye come to the land which the Lord will give you, according as he hath promised, that ye shall keep this service. And it shall come to pass, when your children shall say unto you, What mean ye by this service? That ye shall say, It is the sacrifice of the Lord's Passover, who passed over the houses of the children of Israel in Egypt, when he smote the Egyptians and delivered our houses. And the people bowed the head and worshipped. And the children of Israel went away and did as the Lord had commanded Moses and Aaron. So did they. Okay, so this was just Moses. God told Moses what to tell the people. Now he's telling them, and they're going to do it. You will note that not only were you to mark the doors, but you were not to leave the house. Anybody caught outside, they didn't have a door. If you're outside, there's no way for the destroyer to see the blood on the door, because there is no door, and therefore you are no longer protected. This is, again, God saying, show me you have faith. This is what you need to do to save yourself. If you believe in me, if you have faith in God, you will do what he tells you to do. Now, last note. I know this doesn't talk about records, but I do want to. This is a memorial. This is in itself an oral record that he's saying, you observe this feast every year. And as your children, when the next generation is growing up, and they ask you, what is the purpose of this yearly feast? You explain it to them. You tell them the history, why we do it. Because remember, as I've mentioned in other videos, history is our identity. And this is God once again commanding that the history be preserved. But we will see you in the next one.